Hi, and welcome to episode 57 of the Content Marketing Lounge podcast. My name is Nathan Collier. I'm your host. I'm also the admin and founder of the Content Marketing Lounge. We are the most supportive community on the web for content marketers. If you're not yet a member of the community, please come join us. ContentMarketingLounge.com is where you can find us. Today, our episode is with Gigi Rodgers, who is one of my favorite people in the world. Gigi is an artist. She's a marketer. She's a video editor extraordinaire. There's so many things I could say about Gigi. A friend, she's somebody I've worked with professionally since 2018. And she's always someone that is a person that I often talk to just about strategy, sort of kicking ideas around. We have a long history, and you'll hear that here in the episode. So we got to talking the other day about something she saw on the web called the 500 Pieces of Content Challenge, which is something that someone from her network posted, and you'll hear that in the show. And we just got to talking about strategy and about volume versus quality and about how content works and how content doesn't work and the things that cause it to fail, especially within companies. And so we were chatting back and forth via WhatsApp, and then we were chatting kind of over a call one day, and we thought, we should record this. And so this is that episode. The energy here is great. Gigi's great. I'll put links to her bio and all of her info in the show notes, but I won't give you too much more than that. You should really just listen and take note. The thesis of this show is that volume is the way. Without further ado, here's myself and Gigi Rodgers talking about all things content. So let's see. Yesterday, you sent me a note, as you often do. And we often send notes back and forth. And you were like, "Hey, have you seen this?" So let's start there. What did you send me, and what did it say, and how did that get us all amped up? And then we were like, we have to record this conversation because it's a big aha wow moment. So let's start there. What was it that you saw, and how did you see it?
Okay, so I was dinking around on LinkedIn, and I saw an associate that I know, and she had declared that she's doing the 500 post in 30 days challenge. And she was like updating us on what was going on. And I was like, this is interesting. And I'm like revving her up. I was like, yeah, girl, go ahead and get it. Like, don't stop. And if you ever want to link up and do a group, and like, I'll pay for it, and like, I'll jump in there as well. And she was like, well, actually, there's this guy who's already doing it on YouTube. Here's the link. It's not my original idea. Like, check him out. And so I watched the video, and I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Why haven't I done this before? And but I knew one thing is like, I could do it on my own, but I'm terrible at doing challenges on my own. So that's why I messaged you. I was like, hey, if you do it, I'll do it with you. And then you watched it, and we messaged back and forth for a bit. I was like, okay, this is getting a call.
Yeah. So I believe my response back to you after watching, this is Donovan Barrett, is the YouTuber, and he...
Yes. Oh, wait. And my associate who is doing the challenge right now is Nicola Gwillem. Well, I'm actually just tag her. Anyway, go ahead.
We'll link both in the show notes and everywhere we talk about this kind of thing. But I thought, as soon as so it's a fairly short video that Donovan posted, and he was challenging himself to post 500 pieces of content in 30 days.
Yeah.
And he went beyond that. He sort of said, here's how I'm going to do that. Like, it's not just create 500 pieces. It's like, for him, he was using TikTok, and he was going to post 5 times a day on TikTok. And he used TikTok as his sort of, I'm going to call it an anchor, right? Anchor for the rest of this strategy. That's a term I've been using forever. I don't even know who I heard that from at some point. I've tried to look it up, but I can't. At this point, I can't figure out where I first heard the word anchor strategy. I'm dating myself because I can't even seem to source it. So if you were listening and you know who first came up with anchor strategy, let me know, because I'd love to credit that person. But the idea being there's one sort of activity that you do on a regular basis, right, that creates this stream of original content. And then from that stream of original content, you take the material there and you push that down into a bunch of other channels, right? So his 5 TikTok videos, and you have to watch the video to sort of understand the full process that he had, right? He was going to look and see. Yeah, he was going to see the 2 best ones from there. He was going to post on Instagram Reels, and then he was also going to take that and turn it into 4 LinkedIn posts, and then that was going to be a tweet. And he had this sort of flow chart about how it worked. So 500 pieces of content in 30 days feels like a ton of content, but you don't create 500 unique pieces of content. You create a series of things in one channel, And then you take that and you repurpose it down into lots of other social media sort of channels. That's essence of anchor strategy. I've been doing that for years. And so I watched it. You're like, will you do this with me? And so I watched that video. I'm like, and I brought you back. I said, this is the way. And so that kicked off like, Baby Yoda memes and all the things in our chat, Mandalorian memes. But there's just something about that. We started to really chat about that because I think that there have been some mistakes that I've made in like, just learning about how content works and really how branding works. And it was like, this is, if there's one thing that I think makes or breaks the things that I've done in my time that have been successful versus not successful, it's the consistency and the volume.
Well, here's the thing. We both know this. We have been in the marketing sphere long enough to know, like you said, that this is the way. We have told clients about this and consulted people. It's like, you want to go ahead and try to put out as much content as possible, top of funnel, and like that kind of stuff. We've talked about this, but for whatever reason, because of our marketing brains, we want to say like, no, well, sort of kind of can do that, but there's this other strategy over here that we could possibly do. And this will be more advanced over here. And we just overcomplicated it. That's it. Like as marketers, we just overcomplicate it. And so while seeing this, I was just like seeing this, and also I think having Alex Hormozzi kind of on top of brain, because we talk about him a lot. It's just like, why are we overcomplicating it? I will say this, for you, it is going to be a little bit easier because you have the video podcast. So all you have to do is just chop that up and you have a massive amount of content you can put out there. Me, I am being a full-time artist. I don't have a podcast. I don't want to start a video podcast. And so I actually may have to sort of create 500 pieces of content, sort of, to actually go ahead and meet this challenge. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, I think even for you, even in your situation, like you need to have one, start somewhere, right? So it'll be a platform. It'll be one, like the one that Donovan has would work for you. Meaning like you're just posting on TikTok, some multiple times a day. And then that becomes the content that flows into the other channels.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. Like the video recording of a podcast is just look at what just look at the people that you can't seem to get out of your feed, right? It's like Modern Wisdom, and it's Alex Hormozzi is everywhere right now, right? And he, those people have teams of people who do this. But what I really liked about Donovan's approach, he's like, I don't have a team. I'm just gonna do it myself. This is the plan. Yeah. And so it's a very efficient way to do it. But I think that there have been times in my career where internally, the place this falls down is if you're working within a company and all of a sudden, you try and pitch this idea to a CEO or a VP or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to post 5 TikTok videos a day. And then that makes people super nervous because they understand that means that the volume is so high that if we have a complicated approval and review process and feedback, and then I got to tweak all the things, if the overhead in that internal environment becomes prohibitive to this, this type of strategy. Whereas if you look at the people who figure this out, again, Modern Wisdom is another one, Diaries of a CEO.
Yep.
These are just
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. Like they have this flow of content that's original content that just gets published, and then it's sort of by definition it's already live. So then they can take that and pull it down into smaller pieces of content. I think that the cool thing about that is I actually like Donovan's strategy a little bit better because it's a lot of small pieces. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he said that I really agree with is when you're starting, you just don't know. You just don't know what people will respond to. Like, are they going to respond to the video of me washing these sneakers that you're preparing for your sneaker art, right?
Yeah.
Or are they gonna respond to you ranting about the business side of art? Are they what is it that are people gonna respond to? I love Alex Hormozzi talks about. He's like, I love talking. He loves talking about like cost of acquisition and all the sort of technical details of like funnel design. Yeah. It's like, and nobody cares. Nobody cares when I post stuff about that. They just don't want to hear it. So you sort of find your way by taking these little pieces. It's like little lottery tickets. But man, there've been so many times when I've said, okay, this internal review approval process is so onerous, so heavy that I can't create these little pieces. Yeah. Right? I can't create these little pieces. So instead I go the other way and I go to create something big and then try and get that approved. And then I can take that down into smaller pieces, which works, but it has so much more risk because it's going to take me 3 months to create this big, huge thing.
Exactly.
Right. And that may or may not hit. Like it's like I bought one lottery ticket instead of 200.
And plus,
Right?
you have to think from a company perspective as well. If you putting out so many little pieces of content, your sales team, your marketing team, the CEO, everybody will find out exactly what's really resonating with
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
Then you'll
Totally.
go and then, like I was telling you yesterday of Instagram, they came out with something completely different from what Instagram is today. And they were putting out this content and they noticed everybody was coming to just one small portion of the app. And it's like, well, why don't we just go ahead and forget everything else and just keep pressing the button on that one thing that everybody's going to and just do more of that. And that's the same thing for any company or brand out here today. Go ahead and put out a whole bunch, see what
Yeah.
resonates, and it may break your heart to like scrap everything else and then focus on this one thing. But if that's what the people or want and that's what's paying the bills and that's what's growing the company and then some and it's what's making you sticky in people's brains, then do it.
That's
Period.
brand. That's how you build brand in
Yeah.
today's environment, today's world. It just is. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
of any other way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I take that back. Like you can do the Coca-Cola strategy where you're like doing Super Bowl commercials and billboards and TV commercials, but like, yeah,
So much
who
money.
has that kind of money?
And who has that kind of money and who has that kind of creativity? Like Apple's videos, they just stick in your brain because they just have the whole team or just brilliant people who just know how to do what they do.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I mean, like how many people can remember a company after Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl ad?
Yeah, they can if it's done right, but mostly Super Bowl ads. I mean, there's always one or two each year that are
That are standouts.
yeah, like Oatly, right? The like one
Oatly,
year
love,
and
love
yeah,
that.
I mean, I can remember them like from years past, but like how many car commercials did I see in the Super Bowl this year? I don't know. All the brands, it's like whatever.
Exactly.
But I guess the cool thing, it means it's an opportunity. I wish that I could tell the CEOs and VPs of the world just let your people cook.
Yep.
Just let your people go. Let your content person take his iPhone, click record, and do a 30-second video with one of your product experts just talking about some cool new thing and like put it out there and see if that language, the way in which they're describing the thing, hits or doesn't hit. Have them do 20 of them. And maybe one of them will hit.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is the algorithms mean if it doesn't hit, nobody will see it. So it's not gonna hurt your brand. It's just
You
not.
can always hit delete. You can always hit delete, like not the day of, not the day after, but like give it some time because you never know. And plus, you have to give people time to actually go ahead and produce that level of content as well. And so if you have a content person, honestly, it would be really, really great if companies and or even just like solopreneurs like myself and you had just one other person. Well, actually, you have your wife, so I'm
I
already
do.
jealous of you.
I
So
do.
if having one other person, so if you have one person who's recording and writing and the other person who's editing, God, the output is just stupendous.
Yeah.
Just having one other person on your team who is just competent enough to just do this thing right here. And if you just add a copywriter on top of that, so that's a 3-man team right there. And just let them cook. Like stay out of the way. Do not give them any other work whatsoever. This is their job.
Yeah. Don't make it go through like complicated approvals. If you want to watch it and give the heads up, like give the up down, like, but if it's 80% good, like let it go. Like don't
Yeah.
try and tweak it and make 2 words change or whatever. Like
Yeah.
the job of a manager is not to make it the way you would make it. The job of the manager is to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. So as long
Yeah.
as that's true,
Yeah.
let him go.
I would say
All right,
actually
one more.
manager, like if you need approval, you have the direct manager right there to look over everything, be like, yep, nothing's offensive. nothing's gonna bomb our brand. How about
Right.
it? Have fun.
I'm not going to end up in the news for the wrong reasons, right? Who's that lady that like posted something and screwed it up and got on a plane and landed in Australia and found out like the entire world, like
That's
I'm forgetting the
right.
story. I'm forgetting the story, but she was
Yeah.
fired or whatever. Like it was bad. So, I'm not against some level of just like second set eyes. Sanity checks are good, but anybody who's worked in marketing for more than a day knows what I'm talking about, right? It's the like, I think this blue should be slightly more blue, right? This kind of stuff.
We wouldn't really say it like that. Can we make it more professional? I was like,
Can you make it more profound? Make it more viral.
yeah. It's like, come on.
There's one other piece of this that I want to just say, because we were chatting and I'll just we were talking about like Alex Hormozy again. He has this story where he met with some person who's got a really big famous personal brand, and he kind of went to that person. He's like, well, how did you build your personal brand? And the first question the guy asked him is like, well, how many times are you posting on your profiles? And Alex was like, I don't know, a couple times a day, whatever. And the guy was like, I post 30 times a day or 50 times a day or 100 times, you know, some number that was orders of magnitude higher
Yeah.
than Alex was at the time. And Alex was like, like expectation resetting, right? And now he's on the other side of that, where he had a tweet. I'll link it, where he'd had that same conversation in reverse with like some really rich person who was like, I got to start doing the personal brand thing. And Alex was like, well, how often do you post? He's like, once a day on LinkedIn. And Alex was like, we put out 300 pieces of content per week. And so this brings us back to what Donovan Barrett was doing, which is just, there is a method to being able to put out that amount of content. And so whatever it is that you do that feels comfortable for you, if it's recording up, for me, I'm very comfortable for interacting in this environment. Like, I like to be the host. I love sort of pulling people's stories, but taking that and then creating a bunch of content, like from this 30 minute conversation, I'm going to get 300 pieces of content truly from this, from this, especially after you do your creative thing and do your video editing magic that you're so good at. So we'll do that. But it's like, again, I mentioned it earlier. It's like we were ranting back and forth at each other, like hyping each other up in our chat. I wrote this, which you said, you should remember this. That's a good one. That'll work. What? You should say it. And I said, like too many times in my career, like I've gotten distracted by like the quality versus quantity debate, right? And I'm like, okay, well, we'll just make quality. And then I've held back from posting because I'm making these big things. But the longer I'm in this game, and I've been in this game for 17 years and I was a journalist before that. So, and journalism is like, we published every day. I was publishing 2-3 stories every day.
Yeah.
You just learn what people responded to. Every time you do that, if you post 15, 20 times a day across 7 different social media channels, it could be similar messages, but just formatted for those different
platforms,
rooms, right? Like LinkedIn is a room, right? And it has certain best practices for that particular room. Same with Twitter or these other ones, but it's not that hard, really. Like, what if you get one core piece of content and a couple core messages to just sort of repurpose those in different ways forever? But when you do it that way, then each post is like a lottery ticket. I wrote, each post is like a lottery ticket, except the win is figuring out what people react to, respond to. And the lottery tickets are basically free, right? So how many tickets do you want? Do you want 1 per day, 1 per month, 1 per quarter, doing the big ones like I used to do? Or do you want 30 per day? Like, how many lottery tickets do you want? Like, we make this stuff so complicated, but it's not. It's just playing the lottery and then letting that market guide us based on how it reacts. That's what branding is. We call it content marketing, but I'm more and more convinced that this is just brand, right? Mm-hmm. There's 5% of the market that might be actively in a buying cycle right now. And the other 95%, you're just trying to build brands so that they think about you when they need you. That's all this is. Clapping from the gallery. That's pretty good. I think I find that I write really good stuff when I'm trying to say, a little worked up.
Yeah.
I got my little energy worked up.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at like, there's so many domains where this has been true. Right? I feel like Alex Hormozi's sort of approach to just like, I'm obsessed with this work, just obsessed with it. It feels a lot like if you listen to like the way Kobe Bryant used to talk about everybody else would practice just during practice, right? And they'd show up at noon.
Clip. That was so good.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of these, but I found one that was him talking about this. He said, if everybody else, they practice from 12 to 2, and then they take a break, and then they practice again from 4 to 6. He's like, then they'll get, a certain amount better. But if I show up and I practice from, 5 to 7, then I take a break, and then I go from 9 to 11, and then I practice 4 times per day. And now you multiply that over a 20-year career. Like, in his view, like he knew that he would get better at a rate, like the acceleration of his skill set would be so
exponentially large.
Every day he gets a little bit better than everybody else, but it's the rate at which he's getting better that's faster than everybody else. And so everybody else can't touch him because they're just not willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
I see so many parallels between that and what
life,
like everything, especially this game of brand marketing, which is like, if you're not willing to create a system that allows your people to publish multiple times per day, then you're that guy who just shows up for the team mandated practice, and you'll never be able to accelerate past your competition.
And stand out.
Whereas that 2-person startup that you're competing with that you don't think anything about is over here just like going crazy with brand, right? And they're like, you sort of look at them and you're like, they don't even have a good product yet. And then one day they'll be knocking on your door to acquire you because they're a $100 million company and you're a $10 million company. Right.
Damn, you gotta love
That's
that.
that's
And
how.
you have to go ahead and probably accept as well that delayed gratification. It's
Yeah,
not gonna happen
totally.
overnight. It may not even happen in the next 30 days, but hopefully you'll have that muscle built up and you won't have those questions of like, well, what should I post today? Which stops everybody from posting. It's like, oh, I
Oh
don't know if
gosh.
I don't think anybody's really gonna be interested in this, so I probably shouldn't post that, or it's not polished or whatever, because you don't have the leeway to overthink it if you have to
Yeah.
post 500. It's like, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and put something out. And it may
Yeah.
not be the greatest piece of content, or it'll be the content that sends in a flood of people to your freaking lead magnet or whatever funnel or to your channel and just commenting away or just becoming a follower or becoming an email subscriber or whatever have you.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, we'll have that muscle, like, looking yoked like the Rock's arm by the end of these 30 days.
So I'm gonna start Monday. Like we're recording this on a Thursday, so I'm gonna use this as my first anchor piece. I've got another interview lined up tomorrow. I'll do some solo episodes. Like this.
So
This will
lucky,
be my anchor
so lucky.
for how this moves
For
forward.
me for me, my anchor is going to be, probably my daily practice of drawing,
Mm.
which I need to get in, and I don't man, okay, hang on. Looking at Kobe Bryant's video, God, he wakes up at 4 a.m., I think, or he woke up at
I
3
think.
a.m., he had practice at 4
Yeah.
a.m.
I feel like he's one. So I'm not necessarily advocating that you be quite as incredible as he was at those kinds of things. Because I have a hunch that he had that like can get by on no sleep gene, whatever that is that 5% of the population has. We don't all have that, right? Um, but like, how many hours of work do people normally put in per day? Like actual real work, like one or two, maybe, right? So
And that's
you
kind
know,
of the problem. Like, I sometimes have a tendency to get caught up in, like, admin crap or, like, something that I think will take 5 minutes, and next thing you know, it's been, like, 90, and I'm just like, "Why did this take so long?" And I don't get the practice in that I need to go ahead and get. And, this even makes me think of, like, Ryan Holiday and, like,
yep,
his whole schedule, how he wakes up before the chaos starts. He has a
yeah.
family. He knows what time everybody wakes up and does X, Y. So he gets a lot of his work done before anybody wakes up. But you and I have talked about this before, and I'm not a day walker, as in like a person who wakes up early. I am a moon walker, someone who usually does their best work at night. But at the same time, I keep on thinking, it's like, should I change up my schedule, or so that I'm awake later on in the evening while everybody else is asleep? Or should I just go ahead and start waking up, go to sleep at 9, wake up at 5 a.m., 2 hours of drawing calligraphy or whatever typography I'm working on, 2 hours working on illustration, because I usually only get like an hour in each day. What if I double
Yeah.
it? What if I do two
As
times?
long as I think it doesn't matter what time it is, as long as it's scheduled. That's that's what I think.
That's something I have to
As
do.
long as it's like you have to like schedule it like a meeting, like this, like this. Like
Yeah.
you and I scheduled this for a certain time of the day. We didn't miss it, right?
But
And
that's because I
just
also knew that somebody was counting on me to be here.
yes, yes.
Yeah. When I don't have that accountability, then I'm just like, snooze, so quick, snooze.
Well, maybe we'll have to set up some accountability system. We've done that in the past. That
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
might be a thing we could do.
I don't know if you wanna wake up at 5 a.m.
I got to coach baseball late into the night some night. Like tonight I got a game that doesn't start till 8:35. I'm not gonna be up at 5
Oh,
tomorrow morning.
yeah.
It's just not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah. And
So
so, if anything, I might have to use just some platform, be like, "Hey, let me."
you'll get it. I look forward to seeing like the art and the just all the different things you can come up with. So I look forward to that. And
It's
yeah,
weird practicing. I'm actually, oh man, I was looking at I'm gonna make a video about this. I was looking at some art that I did like 10, 15 years ago, and it was actually pretty decent. Like, it looks good to me in my artistic eye now, my more experienced eye than my raw eye back then. And I literally now I'm gonna have to practice to get as good as I was 10 to 15 years ago on just doing that. I'm so pissed at myself. When you just look at some of your old work and you're like, that was good. Why did I stop that?
I have the same feeling about the Content Marketing Lounge as a community, in that I let took my foot off the gas in about 2022 when I started to work full time as a director kind of level
Yeah.
person, and I'm excited to bring it back. It's been fun to sort of reconnect with a lot of people that I used to hang out with a lot. I say hang out with, chat with in various in what was the old Content Marketing Lounge. I'm really looking forward to getting back to it. But I had the same feeling. I'm like, dang it, it was so cool. I really liked this. Why did I stop? Why did I stop?
Let me ask you this. How long did it take you to build up you had like over 5,000 followers in that group. How long did it take you to build that up?
10 years. I mean, it's the 8,000 came. It was 8,000.
8,000?
8,024 as of yesterday. The 8,000 was about 7 years, and then it's kind of just stayed where it was since then.
I bet you can reach that number in less than a year with this strategy that we're getting ready to do.
I intend to.
Months.
And I have another goal of getting to 100,000 on LinkedIn followers, which that's going to take me years, right? That's not a 30-day challenge. Maybe,
Well,
who knows?
30-day, but
let me put it this way: I'm willing to work on it for years.
What's the takeaway from 100,000? Like, what's the big? Or can you share that yet, or not yet?
The takeaway? What do you mean
Or like
takeaway?
the big goal that you're going for? Like, why 100,000?
It's a big round number that I can aim at. When I look around, there aren't that many people who achieve that. When I look at people like Dave Gerhardt is the person that I think is a really good model for what can happen with a personal brand when you get to a level like that. He's got 180,000 people following him on LinkedIn. He definitely built his entire livelihood and brand. Everything he did at Exit 5 came from posting about copywriting once a day on LinkedIn for a year, right? That's just what he did, right?
Yeah.
And the success that I had in building my community was because I posted in there every day for a year to get it all going, right? Like, I did some work at the beginning to invite in some really cool people that kind of established that early vibe in the community. But after that, it was just post in there every day, get conversations going, and make it an awesome place. And so just that daily practice of having some activity in there, this is what we're talking about, right? The consistency is the thing that's where people fail. It's not for ideas. People don't fail because they sit down and don't know what to write. They fail because they get busy and then don't sit down to write. That's why content projects fail.
And it can take less than 15 minutes to just write something. That's the sad part.
Just read through LinkedIn and find something that you feel like you want to comment on, and don't comment on it. Just go write a post instead.
Or do both.
Yeah, but even better. Yeah. I was inspired by Gigi Rodgers because she wrote this thing, and here's my take on it, or that's just, it's not that hard to find something to do, even if you don't have anything that you're thinking about beforehand. It's easier if you have an anchor, if you have a thing that you're just doing on some sort of regular basis, like Donna's doing, or like I'm doing with the podcast. That's the easy way to do it, though.
I think a lot of people feel the pressure to do video, which is not true. Yes, video is still like one of the strongest of all the mediums out there and whatnot. But if you're just a writer or someone who does not want to get on camera whatsoever, just go ahead and be a writer, or go ahead and be the person who creates nothing but carousels. It's all good. I'm very comfortable on being on camera. I don't give a damn. So, I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. So I'll most likely be mixing it up a lot and see just what happens.
Anything else we haven't said?
How long is this? 30 minutes? That's low for us.
Seriously.
Me and Nathan sometimes we'll talk for like a good 60 to 90 minutes, like talking about like a little bit of life, but then like strategy and marketing. You know what? That's the problem, Nathan, is that we're constantly strategizing and just not doing. That's
not executing. If I have a thing in my life that I failed at, it's that. Everything I've done that has worked is because I just sat down and did it once a day for a year, at least, or 7 years in the case of the community.
I don't think I've ever just sat down for even a year and done something every single day other than breathe. That's it, and exist.
All the things in my life that are good came from putting investment into it every single day, like daily. That's all. And every time I've had like a brilliant idea and I've gone to execute it and I put it out in the market, it's just been like, the market's like, whatever. Like,
yes.
If I try and build a big thing and put it out there, it doesn't work.
Yep.
But when
because we have both publicly failed in that before.
Many
times, and we never
failed on it together. We failed on it together, even.
Yep. And we never learned our lesson. We're just like, oh, well, I just didn't work out because. And it's like,
yeah. And then you start to make excuses.
We say that it didn't work out because, but also our marketing brains be like, no, it didn't work out because of this, and this you didn't do beforehand, and this, and like, we just know. But we don't.
It didn't work because I didn't have 100,000 people that were already like following. You know what I mean? Like, to flip that around, what's the level of audience where it would be very unlikely for one of us not to succeed if we launched something to it? You know what I mean? And so that's where that 100,000 number comes from for me. It's like, if I had 100,000 followers, then 1% of that would be 1,000 people. And if you go back to that 1,000 true fans thing.
Yep.
All you need is 1,000 people to buy a thing from you every year, and that's a life. Like that's a livelihood. And so I think that those numbers are things that make sense to me, and I think that that 100,000 follower threshold feels to me like an achievable thing over a long time horizon. And so that's why that makes that's a very attractive target for me to aim at.
Like I said before, I really think it's going to be about, depending on what your goals are. Like I don't have a goal of being a millionaire. I don't care if I'm a millionaire. Me making $100,000 with zero debt. Oh my God, I am balling. I am balling within that year, and I most likely won't be balling in the United States, but somebody else. So just let everybody know.
You've done a bit of that throughout.
Yeah, but I need to make it permanent. So when I move again, when I jump, like it needs to be permanent, and I have visa issues, so I have boomerang back again. That has constantly been the problem and whatnot. And me having that kind of money in the bank makes me very sexy, I should say, in the eyes of most countries. But I think everybody definitely needs to figure out that numbers, like what are they trying to attain, and so they can live the life that they feel is going to be good for them, good for their people who are on their team, and so on, and making sure it's sustainable and whatnot. Some people are just like, I am trying to be a billionaire. Awesome. And there are some people like me who's just like, no, I can be a 6-figure person and I'll be freaking great. I'll be happy. Yeah, I'm sold, man. I do not need a whole lot. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a couple million to retire the way I want, like just because I got a wife and a family and that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Everybody's at different levels, just depending on where you're at and where you live.
People got to figure that out. Figure that out before you even start. Or no, actually, no, that's a lot. Just start and then figure it out.
That's the path becomes clear as you start to move. Like what's that old thing? Like you can't steer a ship and it's still sitting in port. And you're sitting there around some conference table. Like what should we do? Like you can't.
Just do.
Not until you start to move does the next step become clear. 300 pieces of content, huh? Ooh, starting next week. All right.
300 to 500 pieces of content. God, I'm so jealous of you. I'm so jealous that you have a video podcast. You have no idea. It's so easy if you have a video podcast. So easy. Okay. All right.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
No. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say Riverside is a tool that anybody could use, Gigi.
What I don't even know, like, other than me talking to, like, other artists in general, or I guess, well, wait, hang on. You maybe on
The Artist Way with Gigi Rodgers.
The Artist Way. Me talking with other artists for sure, and then also probably marketers and anybody who does business within the art sphere, because that is something that so many artists just refuse to learn, is how to do the business side of things. So I always hear is like, I just want people to leave me alone and just let me do my art. You can go ahead and do that if you want to, but you're not going to make the kind of money that you want to, and you're not going to be able to live the type of life that you want to because you're not doing the business side of things. You're just doing your own. So then it's just a hobby. So
the rebel artist or the business artist or you need something a little bit more provocative than what I'm just
the
like
fucking podcast. There you go. Keep it all on brand.
Yeah, man. So hey, if you're jealous of a video podcast, start one.
And
I'll be a guest. You know I'd be a guest.
You can talk about the content marketing side of things.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And then how would an artist like myself, like from your, because you have more experience than me, so like how would you suggest some things? Yeah. But
I would do exactly what we just talked about. I would do exactly what we just talked about. That's the play. This is the way.
Yeah. And if you're, and even how to set up your studio, that's something to think about. And then I had to figure out even who to reach out to. Oh, God, just thinking about this.
It's not necessary. You don't have to do it. Donovan Barrett doesn't have a podcast, but having some anchor that creates video content for you, that would be so much
video. It's not just like video. That's a lot. It can be up to, I have pulled up to 18 pieces of video shorts from one interview that was done in 30 minutes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And it wasn't even like fluff that the person was saying. It was really good, like drops. I was like, damn, that's good. And I don't think that people even used it. I was like, you guys are insane. You're insane. But yeah, so video podcasts are definitely the way. I highly suggest them. Do them. Everybody else, I'll figure it out. Maybe possible. It may have.
All right, so
we'll see.
We're gonna have a follow-up episode in 2 weeks that does a deep dive into the strategy that you've discovered along the way. You have to move, right, to be able to find it.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about my progress too, going from, I have like just under 5,000 LinkedIn followers. If I get to 6,000 in a month, that's pretty good. 20% increase. If I increase by 20% every month for a while, that's a path to 100,000.
What, you have 5,000 followers on what platform?
LinkedIn right now.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
5,000 times, 1.2. I'm sure I can figure out the math. But if I stay active and a 20% increase, who knows how many months that could take to get to my goal of 100,000.
Oh, come on. Are you doing a 20% increase or are you doing like a 20x increase? I remember you sending me
a 20x increase will be the result of incremental 20% increases. That's how I think it is.
Okay. I'm trying to just straight up 5x my results across platforms. I'm just like, let's go. I have things I need to do. So let's get it done. And when it comes to the podcast, now I remember what I was going to say, when it comes to the podcast, they say if you can consistently put out just 10 episodes, when you come out with the 11th, you're going to be like in the 1% echelon. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? Just 10? And then you try doing it and you're just like, oh no, I kind of lost steam at 7. Oh, well. Again, going back to Hermazi, I love the quote that his wife's mentor told them. It's like, are you moving mountains to make these things happen, or are you just settling and giving up? I need to put that on a freaking poster somewhere because that is just fire. That is facts. Are you settling, giving up? Or are you moving mountains to make this thing happen? How hungry are you?
That's the business equivalent of, if you listen to that Kobe video, that again, which we'll link, he wants to get to the end. You only have, in basketball, you have an even shorter period of time, right? You get a 20-year career. He wanted to get to the end and feel like he could retire without having any regrets.
Yeah.
He didn't want to feel like he had left anything on the table. I think it's the same. It's the same for people like us.
And same even for Steph Curry. I didn't learn about him like shooting at half court literally until this year. Like that's his thing. I was like, are you kidding me?
It's all the people that you know their names. All the people that you know their names, it's the same story. Michael Jordan, Steph Curry. There are other people in other domains too that have the same story, which is just that the world doesn't reward people for getting kind of good at a lot of things. They reward people for becoming world class at one thing. It's just true.
Yes.
I stole that. Don't clap too loud. I'm sure I stole that from somewhere. So cool. Well, we'll wrap that up, and I'll put links to Gigi's LinkedIn so you can follow along. And then anywhere else that she tells me to put links, you should also click on those and follow, because there will be lots of amazing art. If you haven't seen Gigi's sneaker art and just art in general, calligraphy, all this kind of stuff, I'm blown away by the stuff that you create. And I can't wait for the day that you call me and you be like, I got this brand deal. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that day. I can't wait for that day. That day is coming. That day is coming.
I want it to come by at least Q4. So before the end of this year, I want to have my first brand deal, and for them to go for like the premium offer of my little drop experience boxes, not just sneakers. Yeah. But if they just get the sneakers, that's fine too. But the fact that I'll just even get a brand deal in general, I'll be vindicated. Well, very vindicated.
Run the playbook. It'll happen.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Gigi, for being my friend and for being a guest here on the show today. Again, I'll put all the links to Gigi's profiles here in the show notes or down below this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Today is, I think, what we talked about today is really just the core of content strategy. I just want to repeat one thing that we were talking about here during the conversation, which is that we make marketing really complicated. We draw these big, long funnel charts and all these kinds of things. But there's something I learned from Chet Holmes in his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, which is, he has it broken down into 3-7, 30, 30, 30. I think about it just as like the 3-7-90 rule, which is that 3% of people are in your buying cycle at any given time. 11% of people will be open to buying. And then the remaining 90%, they're just not ready. And so we do copywriting and ads and SEO and demand capture for that 10%. And the other 90%, that's all brand. And so that's where content comes in. That's what content can do that no other strategy can really do, which is get someone's attention before they're ready to buy and then hold that attention so that when something happens in that person's life and they need something like the kinds of services that you offer, then you're the person that's already there. You're already there in their mind as the go-to person for that kind of problem. So that's the strategy of content. And the way to do that is to show up over and over and over again in their feeds. That's the superpower of content. So volume That's the way. That's the way to figure out what people want. That's the way to figure out what people respond to. And if you look at all the people who are sort of in your feeds and you can't seem to even get them out of your feeds, that's what they're doing, is that they're finding ways to create a machine that creates lots of content that shows up in lots of different kinds of places. That's how this game is played. And that's how brand is built in the modern era of social media. That's it for today. We'll be back again in a week with another episode of the Content Marketing Lounge. Till then, take care of yourself, be good to yourself, and I'll chat with you again very soon.